Creative thinking.
Creative thinking is something you can train your mind to do. Some people are actually born with creative thinking abilities, while others have to really work to let themselves be a creative thinker. However, it is possible for anyone to become a great creative thinker, whether they were naturally born or they have to work at it.
You hold the key to adopting creative thinking in your life, and by doing so, you could change your life, your thoughts, and your world forever. What is creative thinking? Have you ever had an amazing idea that just seems to be the ideal solution to a problem? Has anyone ever told you that you are amazing when you have shared an idea? Have you ever solved a problem that nobody else could solve? If you answered yes to any of these questions, then chances are you already know what creative thinking is.
Thinking, in general, is a process. It is natural. We all do it, and it usually is not something we spend a lot of time perfecting. However, in some cases, the ability to be a creative thinker is important.
Creative thinking is all about being able to come up with ideas and thoughts that are not something the average person would come up with. Creative thinking can be defined as thinking outside the box, which means thinking beyond the normal scope.
A good example of creative thinking is coming up for different ideas of how to use a common product. The common product already has an identifiable use or uses. However, there are also probably other ways the product can be used. Creative thinking would help a person to define other ways to get use from the common product.
Creative thinking can involve many techniques. It takes some certain skills to be a creative thinker. Creative thinking is usually something people have to work to gain because it is not usually second nature.
When a person develops their creative thinking abilities, they will find they can come up with ideas quickly. They will likely find that they think differently than others and come up with ideas that are unlike any others. They will likely begin with the not-so-obvious answers to questions instead of jumping right in with the obvious solutions.
A creative thinker is someone great to have around because they will be able to get multiple ideas at a time. They will not give up easily, and they will be a great contributor to a problem-solving situation. What are the benefits of creative thinking? Creative thinking has numerous benefits. It is a great skill that can really boost your value in the business world. Being able to think creatively can be a huge benefit to almost any industry or business.
Creative thinking allows a person to come up with multiple ideas rather quickly. Once a person is a skilled creative thinker, they will be able to just come up with ideas in the blink of an eye. Being able to think quickly can help in professions where time is of the essence.
Creative thinking can make a person a perfect problem solver. Being able to think creatively allows a person to come up with solutions to problems that others may never even think about. A person is able to come up with good ideas that may not be so obvious. Creative thinking is something that can be a huge benefit to almost any profession because quick thinking is a great skill.
Creative thinking can give a person a completely new outlook. They will be able to use it in their professional and personal life. They will start to implement creative thinking techniques no matter what they are doing because it will come naturally.
Creative thinking can change a person's whole attitude. It will make them more confident and allow them to live up to their full potential because they will not doubt their abilities. It can be a real moral booster and allow a person to really show what they can do.
Above all, creative thinking can be a ticket to success and great accomplishment. A creative thinker is hard to hold back. They are always thinking and they are always on top of their game. It is hard to deny a creative thinker anything because they are good at what they do. They are able to bring their creative thinking to the table to help improve their life and accomplish goals.
Creative thinking has some amazing benefits. It is hard to deny that creative thinking can do a lot for a person. It is easy to start being a creative thinker and make it change your life. How can an individual adopt creative thinking? You probably are very interested by now in how you can adopt a creative thinking mindset. It will take some work to train yourself to use creative thought, but it is actually quite a fun process. You get to be creative, silly, and allow yourself to go into the world of fantasy.
Good thoughts are not necessarily the most rational thoughts. Think about it. Many of the inventions we use today were once thought to be crazy ideas. That is what makes creative thoughts so great. Nobody else is likely to think of them, but once they hear them, they wish they did.
One of the things you can do to become a creative thinker is called thought experiments. Thought experiments were actually used by Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein is said to be one of the greatest thinkers of all times. He used these thought experiments to stimulate his mind and help himself to see beyond the obvious and get creative.
A thought experiment is basically a way to allow your mind to go places you might not normally let it go. It allows you to use all aspects of your thinking ability. It opens up doors in your mind that may never have been opened before.
Thought experiments are simply rooted in your mind. They are not physical and therefore do not have to be plausible. You can do anything you want with a thought experiment. They allow you to explore the world around you.
The basics of a thought experiment involve visualization. Visualization is merely forming an imagination in your mind or following through actions in your mind through picturing them. Being able to visualize something is a large part of creative thinking.
Thought experiments involve a few other things than just visualization. The following list covers other things you will need to do to create thought experiments. Develop deep thought-evoking questions that you want to find the answer. These questions can be questions that can be answered, or rhetorical questions. They can even be universal questions to which the definitive answer could never be determined. Think about great geniuses. Imagine yourself sitting down and having a deep conversation with this genius. Imagine what you would ask and how they would answer. Imagine traveling in time or to another dimension. Imagine what it is like. How does it look? What are the people like? Are there even people? Create every aspect of life. Think about God or whatever higher being you believe in. Think about the questions you would ask and his answers. Try to imagine being in the presence of such power. Experiment with astral projection. Get a book and study up on the idea. Then try it. Try to float out of your conscious body and into the astral plane.
Another great thing to do to stimulate creative thinking is asking what-if questions. Develop a list of things you would like to know. Try to answer a what-if question in many different ways. See how creative you can be. Go in detail with your answers and get really deep into answering what if something happened.
There are plenty of ways to become a creative thinker and to help your brain to think creatively. Try creating a list of some additional things you can do to help make yourself more creative in your thinking process. For this and other exciting topics that empower your life, visit http://www.motivationlifechange.com.